That you'll hear over and over. I'll try to stress it. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, and so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is my command: love each other. What was the key word? Love. Very good. He said it 11 times. Actually, I think it was 9. I don't know, I wasn't counting, but it's something like that. You have to understand, as when he was saying this, I don't know exactly the timeline, but I know it was getting really close to Good Friday. It was close to the end, and he wanted them to get it. All right. It's like sometimes a teacher at the beginning of the quarter, we're going to do an inquiry lesson today. We'll talk about this, and we'll study that, and we'll consider by the end of the quarter, you go, okay, here's 3 pages, learn it right now. You got to memorize, you got to test tomorrow. You know, it's getting close to the end, and they got to get it. This was close to the end, and they had to get it. So his message was love. That's what it was. That's what it was, his whole ministry, and toward the end it got more important. If you think about it, what was his first miracle? His very first one. I know this one.
He turned water into wine.
Yes, and you get the prize.
The
yes.
beer one.
Right, yeah. That's kind of, I mean, really, that was a nice miracle, but it was to save the host from being embarrassed. That's really what it was. As he went on, these things got more and more important, and at the end, it's about love, guys. It's about love, 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 love. Get it now, okay? It's all about love, all right? And that's what it was. I love you. You love me. Sounds like a Barney song. But he was trying to get that across. And notice he said, this is my commandment. But it really was, he said, you're my friends. I'm not commanding you. He said, you know, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I've loved you. But we're friends now. And he made that very clear in there. So I'm thinking about this, and I'll admit I don't understand God's love. I'm not in God's brain. Does God have a brain? I'm not sure. But I'm not in there. I don't know what he's thinking. And I was trying to think of a close example to love on earth that is like God's love. And this is Mother's Day. It came to me that a mother's love would be very similar to God's love. Okay, you know, I'm going to tell you some mother's love stories, but I know you have your own. Moms want to make you happy, just like God does. He doesn't make you happy, but he wants to bring you joy. When I was 7, we used to go to the football games on Friday nights. We'd all come back to the house, and we'd watch Mission Impossible, and have hot dogs and hot chocolate. And it's the only time I got to eat sitting on the living room floor. It was like great fun. It was what a deal. And one time I remember I went to the kitchen. I said, Mom, I wanted a hot dog. And she looked at me and she says, we don't have any more hot dogs. She goes, I have something better. No, I wanted a hot dog. She went to the refrigerator, got out a piece of bologna, fried it, rolled it up, put it in the bun. She goes, don't you tell anybody. They'll all want one just like this. And I went back in the living room and on the floor beaming because I had this hot dog, you know, and I was special. And you know, how many times has God done that for you or for us? Where you wanted one thing and he knew better and you got something different, and when you got it, this is what I would need it anyway. You know, it's like a mother's love. God has sacrificed much for us. He sacrificed his son. So has your mother, a mother's love. In 7th grade, I got the Hong Kong flu. All I remember is I couldn't breathe. And it was like, that kind of thing. And it was, I didn't realize till later that, you know, like, it was pretty serious. And I remember falling asleep on the couch and waking up all night. And every time I looked, Mom was sitting on the chair next to me. She never went to bed, never left. She was there. making sure that I made it through the night. Why she taking me to the hospital, I don't know. I guess she was a nurse. She knew what she was doing. And, you know, I'm sure she didn't sleep that next day. She sacrificed that night for me. And speaking of sacrificing, one time when I'd be like 5, I'm looking out the window upstairs, and there's my mom walking up the sidewalk wearing her white nurse's uniform. You know, these were all white then, you know, white hat, that old stupid little hat that set on her head, you know, and the white stockings and the white shoes, and she's walking up. It's like, you know, 7:30 in the morning. I never put it together what my mom did. Her and another nurse shared a shift, 11 to 7 shift. She worked 3 days one week, 2 days the next week, and the other nurse switched with her. And those nights, she didn't sleep. She went to work at 11, got to 7, walked the 2 miles to work, walked home, you know, and she did that for us. I asked her later, when did you sleep? She goes, well, if you took a nap. I took a nap. But that was it, you know. I mean, she was a better mother than I am father. There's no way I would have done that, you know, and I just would not. But a mother's love is like that. Sometimes God teaches us lessons with his love, and sometimes your mothers do that as well. This is almost the last mother story. I never know how many to tell. When I was about 10, I wanted a bow and arrow. Okay? I would never give my kid a bow and arrow. I lived in Port Clinton. I didn't live in Pembroke. I lived in Port Clinton, but it was a residential like this, and Davy Carson's across the street had a bow and arrow, and he showed me how to string it, how to use it. Don't twang without an arrow in there. I do all the rules. I'd been in Cub Scouts. I learned about bow and arrow, and I wanted a bow and arrow. I asked for a bow and arrow for my birthday, and I asked for it. My birthday is in late September. In late August, there was a package in the kitchen. It was about this big around, this long. I knew it was a bow and arrow. My brother got it for me. There was no question. It was a bow. It was an arrow, but I knew it was a bow. And I said, that's a bow and arrow. And Jeff, my brother, kept saying, no, it's not a bow and arrow. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not a bow and arrow. He kept saying that. I knew it was. So I waited and waited. My birthday came. We opened up all the presents, and of course, I saved that one for last. I opened it up, and I ripped the wrapping open, and it was a fishing pole. I opened the fishing pole, and I said, I think Mom was testing me on this one. Because I said, thank you, Jeff. It's great. I'll use it. I really appreciate it, or something like that. And then Mom said, oh, there's one more present I forgot. It's in the trunk of my car. Here's the keys. Could you go out and get it? And there was the bow and arrow. I'm convinced if I had been, that's not a bow and arrow, I wanted a bow and arrow, I would have never gotten it. I never asked her because I was afraid to know the answer. But, mothers teach us things. God teaches us things. Going back to the gospel, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I loved you. It's pretty simple. It's not about being right. It's not about saying the right things. It's about loving one another. That's what it's about. But how do we do that? I mean, really, it's easy to love your spouse, your child, you know, your significant other, your grandma, your mother. That's easy. But how do we love other people? As I was stealing things off Pastor Jean's sermon for this week, it helps when I read hers, she was talking about something the Greeks called agape love. I think I'm pronouncing that right. A-G-A-P-E, agape love, and agape. And it's not the I love you love, it's the one love, corporate love. You know, it's how you love someone you don't even know. I mean, really, I've always wondered, how do I love God? I've never seen him. I never talked to him. You know, I can love my children. I know them. God is a little different, you know. Or how do I love my neighbor? I like my neighbor okay, but, you know, Keith's a good guy. I don't know if I love him or not, you know. He helps me with my lawn when I need it and stuff like that. But do I love him? I don't know. And agape love it's more about doing the right things. It's more about when someone is sick, you take a casserole to them, whether they ask for it or not. It's when you have someone you're not getting along with. Revenge is not your number one option, okay? Even though you want it to be. It's treating them with respect and dignity. It's doing what God wants you to do even when you don't want to do it. Okay, and you treat other people like that. Maybe you don't love that person. I like Skylar. I'm not sure I love you, Skylar, but I will do things to help you. You know, I will do that. And so you get the idea. I mean, it is a very difficult thing for Christians Because if we're supposed to love everyone, does that mean we're everything's okay? I mean, I think Jesus wants to stand up for ourselves. He stood up for himself. I think he wants us to stand up for ourselves. But it's not about being right. In love, I don't know, the one they always read at the weddings, love does not keep score. I don't know what's that. It's not what he says, but it's something like that. Love is patient. Love is kind, love is patient, love does not keep track of rights and wrongs, you know. And that's the gist of it, isn't it? Yes. And I think that's more what we're supposed to be doing now. I'm going to be challenged with this on Monday. I had this week I had a real run-in with someone at work. And he treated me and my friend with incredible disrespect, dishonor, anything you could say. And he was being a jerk. That's the nicest thing I can say. And we didn't deserve it. And there's no question, he was wrong. Now I'm going to have to deal with this on Monday. I'm giving a sermon on love today. What I want to do is go there and call him names and swear a lot and do bad things at him. That's what I really want to do. And tell everybody else all the stupid things he did and make sure you hate him. And that's what I want to do. Blow up his house and, you know. Just kidding. So I have to figure out how am I going to practice what I preach here. I'm saying love your neighbor. How am I going to do that? And honestly, I don't know. I won't know until I get there. And I just hope that God carries me through here and I do what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know. I mean, someone once, a long time ago, asked me, define love. I thought I made this up. I said, I sometimes define love as loving someone as someone I would sacrifice my life for without thinking. You know? And I read the gospel, no one has greater love than this to lay down one's life for one. Friends, Jesus made it up. I didn't. Okay? You know, and there are different kinds of love. I mean, if an intruder came to my house, and I would, without question, save my wife and my children. You know, I would sacrifice my life for them. And every one of you would do that. Every mother would do that for a child. Every father would do that for a child. We would all do that. Okay? If they came in here, would I sacrifice my life for you? I think I would. I think. You don't know until you get there. What if a shooter comes to school and I can save my children by sacrificing myself? Will I do that? Do I love them enough? I've thought about that 100 times. And I think I know what I would do. I think I would. But I'd be going, oh crap, now I'm going to die. It wouldn't be, you know, that's what I got to do, so let's go. You know? I think I would, but I don't know. Maybe I'd hide under the desk and say, go, Skylar, go take care of him. You know, Adam, go. You're bigger and stronger than me. I don't know, but if I do love those children, not like I love my own children, I should be able to do that. I should be able to sacrifice myself for them. And again, you don't know until you get there. I sacrificed myself for my dog one time. He was in a fight with a neighbor dog, and Pepper was getting eaten alive. I mean, it was like, what was that dog's name? That mean one, Mary?
Garnet?
Topaz. Topaz. I mean, he had already eaten a rabbit, a cat, and Pepper was getting eaten alive, and I just jumped in there, and, you know, I wrestled these dogs, I had these two dogs like this, you know, and Pepper was trying to bite whatever she could and ended up biting me, but, you know, and I was sitting there. What do I do until Keith came over and got one of the dogs, you know, and, okay, it was only my dog, but, you know, I was pleased that I took a chance for my dog. If I would do that, I would think I would do that for my kids, you know. So, love is what Christians are about. Or, yes and no. It's what we're supposed to be about. John 13:35 says, by this all people will know you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Okay, his disciples are what we now call Christians. They will know you are Christians by your love. I read a recent survey where they asked non-Christians to describe Christians. And not one of them said love. Every answer was they are against this. They are against that. They make rules about this. Every single answer, the top 5 answers anyway, were all about what Christians want to make rules on, what we want to judge on. I don't think Jesus would be pleased with that. I don't. He wanted us to be about love. I mean, he made it very clear. He said it 9 times here. It wasn't about making rules. It wasn't about legislating things. I mean, this isn't political. That's what I mean. But when people think of Christians, they should think of that loving group, that people who love everyone. That's what they should be thinking. And until they do, we're not doing what Jesus asked us to do. And it's every one of us. We aren't doing it. You know, it's unfortunate. That's what it is. I mean, if we want to follow Jesus, we have to be nice. I mean, the Old Testament, you know, sure, God destroys and punishes, but the New Testament's all about grace and love. And that's what Jesus was about. Another question, though. Does your mother know you love her? Does your mother, or did your mother know you loved her? I was talking about this with Linda the other day. And she let me use a story back about 5, 6, 8 years ago when you were 6 years ago. She was working, they were building a house, she was very busy, her dad was in the hospital. And she said, I will go see him on Saturday. He didn't make it to Saturday. Friday he passed away. Did he know she loved her? I'm sure he did. But why did she wait? That's what she said. Why did I wait? I could have gone, I could have done a little work later. Does your parents and your mother, both your parents, know you love them? If she's still alive, let her know. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, you tell her. Sometimes it's a little awkward. Mom, I really love you, you know. You show her. You know, you do things for her without her asking, and this applies if you're 6 or 60. You know, you in your room, okay, I'll have to, you know, do this, you know. If she's older and she needs things done for her, don't wait till she calls, can you come over and move this, you know. Go over and talk to her so she needs that. I'm telling you because I was not good at this. I'm telling you I was not good at this with both of my parents. I was not good at this. Email them, Facebook them. If they're on Facebook, get them on Facebook. For an elderly person, there's nothing better than getting on Facebook, no matter what Katie says. Okay? People like me are really too busy, but when you're older, you're not quite as busy. You know, you get those dumb emails that you just throw away, they're funny. You know, include your mother in that. You know, they want to know you're thinking about them. Ask for help. You find out whether you need it or not, you end up using it. I know when my kids need help, if they either call the home phone or my cell phone. Okay, Mary doesn't answer cell phone so much, so they call the home phone and cell phone. It's home phone, it comes up on my TV, it's there, I let it go, because I know they want her. It's my cell phone, it's me. If the car breaks down, they have trouble, they're calling me. If the computer is in trouble, they call me. If Emma wants me to proofread a paper, she calls me. If they're having troubles with life, they call Mom. And they'll talk for an hour, and I'll listen to them chat and laugh, and Mary won't say it, but she likes that. Because I'm calling you, Mom. I wouldn't do that if I didn't love you. I trust you, I respect you. Ask your mother's advice. Ask for her help. What if you have a mom who's hard to love? I have one of each parent. My mom was easy to love, my dad, no, not so much. They both passed away, and I did not do well with my dad. My brother was much better. He understood the agape love. He took care of Dad when he needed. He talked to him. He went out and watched Wheel of Fortune with him and Jeopardy, and I'd go over to visit him for 15 minutes and say I'm in a hurry and go home. I was not a good son. I was not. And yeah, my dad was kind of a jerk sometimes, but he was my dad. And he loved me, and I didn't realize till he passed away that I loved him. I do know one thing. I've dealt with a lot of bad moms and dads as a coach and as a teacher. Oh, I mean, really, they're like the psycho mom and psycho dad. And you may have a mom or dad that you think is psycho, and they might be, but almost every single one I've worked with, they really want what was best for their child. It may not have looked like that, and what they wanted may not have been best for their child, but that's what they thought they wanted. You know, and if you're having trouble with a parent, try to remember that. He or she wants what's best for me. It may not look like it if you're teenagers, you're sure your mother hates you. No, she's evil. But no, probably not. If your mother has passed away, as many of ours have, well, you can't tell her, but actually you can. I'm sure she's listening. But you can honor her by honoring God. Last time I gave a message, my brother was here. And on the way home, he sent me a text that Mom would be pleased. It was about a week after Mom died. It was in, I think it was 2007. I'm not sure. I've told you we lost all 4 grandparents in January, February, 5 years. And this was odd what happened. But your mother just died. And you're thinking about all the things you should have said, should have done. And I had a dream, but it wasn't a dream, it was a vision. I mean, it was, I don't know how to explain it, but there was Mom sitting there. She was sitting there on the side of the bed, talking to me. And all she said was, "I know you love me." And she repeated that. "Don't worry about it, I know you love me." Where that came from, my head, my guilt, God sent her, the shoes are there, I don't know. But yes, I did love her. Did I show her enough? No. Remember that. You don't want to wait till your dead mother to come to you and tell you that. You know, that you shouldn't have to wait for that. And you have to show God that too. Do you love God? In the way that you can love someone you've never seen? Then do what He asks. Treat others like you're supposed to. Show them the love that you're supposed to do. When you have an argument, you love them. It's not about winning. It's not about who's right or wrong. You know, when you get done with any confrontation, any part of your life, think, would God have been pleased with what I've done? All right? And honestly, if you're not sure you love God, you're not sure He's there. And if He's there, do you love Him? I understand those thoughts. Then come to Him and tell Him, I'm trying. I'm trying to honor you. I'm trying to love you. Help me do what I'm supposed to do. Think what I'm supposed to think. Feel what I'm supposed to feel. He'll like that. Okay? And He will help you. It's all about love. God loves us like a mother loves a child. Like your own mother loves you. A mother's love. Jesus sacrificed Himself for us. Your mother would sacrifice herself for you. That's the kind of love God showed us. That's the kind of love our mothers have for us. We can use mother's love as a guide for how we're supposed to treat others, how we're supposed to love others. If we can do that, if we can love others, anything at all like that, I think God would be pleased. Amen.